Video 5, adding some graphics to the banner. In this session on Dreamweaver CS4, we are going to create a banner that's going to sit in this top header in a different piece of software. We're going to create a nice graphic and we're going to insert it into the page. At the moment, the graphic is going to want to sit in this divider at the top that I've just selected that's called header, or at least it's the divider with the ID, that's the hash, header. And in the code, you could see, if I go to the code, you can see that it's called header. Currently, the header contains a piece of text that is a heading 1 that says header. So I go back to design, and it's worth having the CSS styles section open at this moment. So you can just double click on CSS styles with your file open, and you can click on the text header, and you can see that there's a property here which is padding, and it's saying that on the top and the bottom there's 10 pixels of padding, and on the left and the right there's none. If you remember from the CSS box model, which is this section here, the padding is the bit between the content and the edge of the divider that it's inside. Well, the truth is we don't actually want a heading at all, but if we wanted to modify this heading, we could highlight it or just click on the heading, it doesn't matter. And we could say, actually, we don't want any padding on the header, or at least on that piece of that heading 1 there. So press enter, and you can see that's gone. There is another little issue in that the header itself, the divider, if I click on it, you'll see that it too has some padding. On the top, it has no padding. That's why the header is the text is right next to it. As it works its way around, it's got 10 pixel padding on the right and 20 pixel padding on the left. So you can just set that to 0, and therefore there's no padding anymore. And when we create the graphic, it's going to fit in that box fully. Header currently resides in a divider called container. If you click on container, you can see that the width of that one is 780 pixels in width, and you can see that property up here. That's the width we're going to make the graphic. So before we can start making the graphic, we're actually going to delete the word header so it's not there, and we're going to start creating the graphic that goes there. There's a graphics package that comes with Adobe Design Premium called Fireworks that works alongside Dreamweaver to create graphics that you can put on your page. The graphic that we're going to create is actually going to sit inside that banner, so I'm going to press File, New, and we're going to make the width of the graphic the same width as the placeholder that it's got to go in, which was 780 pixels. We don't want a massively tall banner because obviously it's going to be right along the top, so I'm just going to make a nice 75 pixel high banner, which at the moment is just going to be a white slither that's going to go up the top. It's very important at this moment to actually save your work, but where you save it is actually the really important part. The where is more important than when. The where I'm going to save it is inside the website folder. A lot of students at this point like to save their work in a folder like pictures, which would be a very inappropriate place to put a picture for your website, considering your website is actually going to one day be sent away. So it would need to go alongside the web folder, which in this case is this PC. And if you remember from lesson 1, when we set up our websites, it's in this PC, in the N drive, and we've put it in ICT, or at least I put it in ICT. You may have it in a different place, and I made a folder called website. It's very, very good practice if you're going to use lots of graphics on your web pages, which you probably will, to make a folder to put them in. And most web designers, funnily enough, call their folder for images, they call it images, or image. Well, I'm just going to rename that to images. Go in there, and calling your graphic untitled1.png is probably an inappropriate name, so I'm going to call it banner, and it's just going to get called banner.png. There's not going to be a huge amount on there. There's going to be a piece of text that says welcome to my website, which is in white on a white background, which isn't the greatest color, so we can highlight it. We can make it any color we like. I'm going to choose blue. We can make it any size we want. I'm going to make it a bit larger, and I'm just going to move the text over here. You can even grab a graphic. I just went on Google and grabbed search for an image of a car, and this is what I got. I'm just going to copy the image, and Fireworks is quite happy with you grabbing contents off the web and copying and pasting. The car's too big, isn't it? So I'm going to zoom out, and we can press this button here to scale the car down to a more appropriate size, something like that. Press enter, get the car the right size you want, and I'm just going to put the little car graphic on the right hand side of the banner. Obviously white and black, it doesn't look so good. So what I'm going to do is change the canvas color without having anything selected with this black arrow let's have it black. And maybe the blue doesn't contrast so nicely with the black, so I might change the color of that to a more bright silver, maybe even from that of the car. You know, I could make the car a little bit smaller and get it mapping nicely on the picture and so on. Something like that, but it's not too important. We're just focused on getting the graphic to fit. So banner.png, the little asterisk says it's not saved. You can press the save icon, which is the icon of the floppy disk. And back to Dreamweaver. We're finished with the graphic. It's saved. We can close it. You could make it a lot prettier. You can do whatever you want to it. But anyway, back to our website. This is the easy part. Now all we have to do is put the graphic that we created in there. I'm going to show you two ways to do that. Obviously, I'm going to minimize CSS styles. Now I'm done with that. You can see the images folder that we created just now. That's created because I made it earlier in File Explorer. And I'm going to press plus, and you can see that the banner we saved, banner.png, is alongside all the other work that we've created. Dreamweaver is really easy. Because the site definition is done, you can just drag the graphic to where you want it and press OK. This is a very important part of web design. When Tim Berners-Lee made the World Wide Web, he made it very important that he wanted people of all races and all backgrounds and all kinds of disabilities to be able to actually access it and actually get full use of websites. So what we have is alternate text, which is mainly meant for people with visual impairments. So it's very important when making assets on pages that people with different disabilities, that you actually name them, because different people use the web in different ways. Maybe they have an auditory web browser that actually reads out the content to them. So we can just press OK, and if you're happy, everything should have fitted nicely if you've done everything right. 780 pixel wide banner, and that slots into a 780 pixel wide container. And in fact, if I click back on the banner, you'll see that actually the image is inside the header, is inside the container. You can actually see that the image is inside the heading 1, which is quite bad practice because I didn't delete the heading 1 fully, I just deleted its contents. So I can tidy that up now. I can actually just get rid of that heading 1 altogether, which I probably should have done in the first place. And there you can see that's the image code that Dreamweaver's put in for me, which is a bit of HTML. And there we go. The little asterisk again, it's not saved, so we can save it. And have a little look at the page in Dreamweaver now. So preview. Yes, I don't know. I didn't know I made any changes to the style sheet, but there you go. There's the page with the little banner.